I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV and the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. If you're watching me right now on YouTube, I'm glad you are. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes. Hope you'll do that. Episodes like today, where I'm going to share with you 4 rules for remote leadership. Are you ready? Let's get started. In 2018, Wayne Turmel and I wrote a book called The Long Distance Leader, subtitle, Rules for Remarkable Remote Leadership. And now, and those rules were the focus or the focal point of the book. And now we've released the second edition of this book, The Long Distance Leader, Revised Rules for Remarkable Remote and Hybrid Leadership. Well, what I want to do today is share with you 4 of those rules, 4 of those that didn't change between the first and second edition of the book. And those are 4 principles, 4 rules of remote leadership that have and will stand the test of time. Here they are. I'll comment on each after I share the rule. Number 1, accept the fact that leading remotely requires you to lead differently. Now that might seem obvious, but in the moments after the COVID lockdowns came, everyone sort of said, we have to figure this out. And as time went on, they sort of said, well, I guess we just have to do it. And what's happened over time is people have sort of forgotten or let go of recognizing that doing it at a distance is different. Even if we're hybrid, it's different. And so in order for us to get better at the remote nuances, we have to recognize that we're going to have to lead differently. We can't just lean into what's always worked. Number 2, use technology as a tool, not a barrier or an excuse. If you lead your team at a distance, even if it's just some of the time as a hybrid leader, you know that you're leaning into technology more than ever. They are all tools. Don't use them as a barrier. Don't use them as an excuse. Don't excuse people for not learning them. Don't minimize the value of them by not learning how to use all of the components of them. They're a tool, and we need to get better at using those tools to further the needs of our team, our communication, our planning, and more. Use technology as a tool, not a barrier or excuse. Rule number 3, building trust at a distance doesn't happen by accident. Now, in last week's episode, we talked about building trust. It wasn't last week's, it was 2 weeks ago. Right? It was 2 weeks ago. Yes. I'm just going to say recently, so I'm going to just pick up for a jump cut on that one. Okay. Next, building trust at a distance doesn't happen by accident. A couple of weeks ago, right here on this channel, I talked about building trust at a distance, and the reality is, if we want higher levels of trust on our teams, and as a leader, we should want that, then we have to work at it. And we have to be proactive to make it happen. And we have to recognize what it takes to do it. And the 4th rule is both the first and last rule in both books. Think leadership first, location second. And before you think that changes the earlier rule that I shared, here's the point. Leadership hasn't really changed, but location does tweak how we lead. It does create nuances in how we lead. So thinking leadership first means remembering and relying on first principles, remembering and relying on understanding human behavior, but then layering on the location component. When and how and do we interact with, communicate with, plan with, coach, and everything else leaders must do when we're doing it at a distance. 4 rules for leading remotely more effectively. Hope you find those useful. Let me close with today's remarkable reminder. If you want to be a remarkable remote or hybrid leader, think leadership first, location second, but don't ignore location. Now, I started by mentioning our new book, The Long Distance Leader, the second edition of The Long Distance Leader. Now's your chance to get your copy. Even if you have a copy of the first edition, here we have updated and revised and provided about 25% brand new content, all available to you when you order your copy at kevineikenberry.com/LDL. Hope you'll do that, and I hope you'll join me next week for another episode of Remarkable TV and the Remarkable Leadership Podcast.